Hello everyone, this is Susan from Susan Hiles Art and welcome to my Crafty Chit Chat and slow stitching video. And today we're going to work on hashtag stamp and sew, and it is an open collaboration, a very unofficial, very loose collaboration. If anybody wants to just pop in and do a video, you can. All it requires is a little bit of some sort of stamping and sewing on whatever it is you're working on. So easy peasy. So I have 9 blocks that I need to complete to get my wool hanging done. And today we're going to work on the 6th one. So we're getting close. I'm going to do something a little different today. I think this is the word mercy. Let me stamp this out just to make sure. Yes, mercy. Okay, so I have to remember to stamp this direction. All right. So the word mercy I got from this stamp set. This is the Faith Art Inspiration stamps. I did do a little search for them a couple weeks ago, and I don't really see, that they're still around. You might be able to, find the stamps on Etsy or eBay or something, but they're old. They're from 2015. So the first thing I want to do, so this is a little different than what I've been doing. I'm going to stamp directly onto my block, because what I've been doing is I've been, stamping on fabric and then sewing. So this, I'm going to work directly on my block. So this is definitely different. So I'm going to put the word mercy in the middle. And we're going to do a little bit of masking, I would call it. So, all right, so there's the word mercy. So what I want to do is, well, actually, I can just do this. I'm going to cut this out, and then I'm going to use it as a mask over the word that I just stamped. And you'll see what I mean in 1 minute. So I just want to make sure, because I'm going to stamp on this piece again, and I just want to make sure that I don't go over this. So I'll show you. Let me kind of, well, I can't, I was gonna pin this on, but I can't do that if I'm gonna stamp over it. Okay, so what I am going to do next is I'm going to take this background stamp, and this is a Julie Nutting stamp. Does it have a name? It's from 2013, mixed media stamp made by Prima, Julie Nutting. It doesn't say a specific name to this, but it's flowers. And what I want to do is I want to stamp over this, right onto that fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get, I'm going to even give it a test just to make sure. Oh, see, now I didn't realize that there was even, so this is interesting, right? So there's the flowers, but behind the flowers, there's text. So I didn't quite realize that, but I'm going to go for it anyway. So this is going to be a really busy block. There's going to be a lot going on with it, but that's all right. That's all right. Oh, darn. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Don't move. Don't move. I need to put it on something because I don't want to stamp directly onto my wool ironing piece here. Okay, so here we go. Okay, So I'm gonna hold that down. Hold, push, push, push. Make sure it gets good and stamped. And let's lift it up. Oh, did it do what I want? It did do what I want. Except it's really hard to see the flowers. Hum, hum. So because the background isn't as clear as I was hoping for, I mean, I like it, but it's definitely giving a different effect than what I was hoping for. So now I have to think about this. What do I want to do? Because what I was going to do, I can tell you what I was going to do. What I was going to do is then stitch the word mercy, and then in between each of the flowers on this stamp, like in the middle, I was just going to do one little French knot. Really easy, but now you can't really, it's not defined. Those flowers aren't defined enough. Should I worry about it? I mean, I really wanted to do this. I don't know that I have another background stamp up here that I could use. I'm trying to think. I do have somewhere over here I think I have a couple stamps here somewhere. I have one with numbers. I don't know. I have this one, which is a background stamp, but I'm thinking that that's probably not the best one. So I have a dilemma, everybody. I can totally switch it out. I can totally switch it out and do something totally different. I mean, I still have this stamp. This is a Stampin' Up stamp. I still have that. I have stars. I have that background, but it's not really what I'm looking for. I don't know what to do, everybody. I kind of like this, which is musical notes. I like this stamp. Maybe what I'll do, I mean, I can try, right? I mean, I can try. Let me grab, well, let me see. Can I just turn this over? I can just turn that over. Okay, so we're going to do this again. And we are going to try something different. I'm still going to go ahead and stamp the word mercy. So let's get that on there. I think what I'll do is maybe I'll go higher with the word mercy. And I have to wipe my fingers because right now I have ink on them. And then below that, I hope this works. I hope this works. There's this stamp. See, that doesn't look super clear either. I do have this background stamp. You know, I have, in my basement, I have music note stamps, but I didn't think I would need those. I don't know that that's going to work. So now I have another dilemma. What should I do, everybody? I don't know what to do. I'm stuck, only because I only brought so many stamps up here. So I could do this that has like the ink pens, the quill pens. I could do this, which is more like a Harlequin type stamp. I do like this. Oh, I like this. This is pretty. But what would I sew on it, right? So that I not only have to think about, you know, what I want to stamp, but can I sew it? Like, is there something I can sew? Like, I was thinking of the stars. I like the stars. I even really like these 3 stars. But the rest of my blocks are either like flowers or butterflies or leaves or, you know, some type of I don't know, a nature type thing. Not, you know, I don't know. I don't know. So I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Let me see. Let me see what else I have. I could do this little flower. That's super cute. Isn't that cute? Oh. All right, so let me pull that out. I kind of have an idea going on in my head that maybe what I could do with this, say I took a piece of fabric like this and stamped on it, then cut it out and sewed that on. You know, let's give it a try. I need to iron this yellow piece of fabric first. And while that's heating up, it'll only take a few seconds. Let me kind of share with you what I have done so far. And so I think that yellow background will look okay. I think it'll be okay. Because it would go right here. I can always move them around a little bit. Or I can even just change up this background. Could I stamp right? No, because, okay, all right. So let's see. Oops, I can't move this. Okay. All right, so let me, whoa, almost dropped that. Okay, this little iron is amazing. It's made by Steam Fast. It works so good. All right, so that's that. I'm just gonna try this. If it doesn't work, I'll go to plan C or D or E, whatever we're on right now. Okay. You know, let's try. It's all we can do is try. Okay, well, that's reasonable. So let's see. So if I cut this out, now I would probably cut it slightly bigger, just ever so slightly, than where the lines are. I'm going to go a little bit slow because I want to do this right. Oh, this could work. So this is, I could actually stamp multiples of this on different fabric and do some piecing of the fabric together, which I had shared a while ago, which I want to do with a bigger flower, a stencil, you know, where you cut out the different sections of the flower using different patterned fabric, and then you place them all together and you have a pretty flower that is made with a whole bunch of different colors and patterns. Okay, so, well, that's kind of cute. What do you think? That's kind of cute. I like it. So if I sewed that on, I could do that. And then what I would also do is sew almost like a border around it. So we're gonna go ahead with this then. We're gonna do this. So let me see, should I go in a little bit closer? I could do that just a little bit. And okay, so I think the first thing that I'll do is I'll go ahead and sew this flower down. Now, what would be, I think, a good idea probably is to use black. So if I'm going to sew around the stamped part of this using black, excuse me, using black I think would be an awesome idea. And I actually have, nope, it's not on there. I'm going to go ahead and use this needle. And let's get stitching. All right. Yeah, and then when it comes to stitching the word mercy, maybe I'll also keep that black. Maybe I'll go with a dark green. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so if I can, I guess, start anywhere. And I could do an overcast stitch, which means I would go around just the outside, which would be quicker. Or I could do, if I did the straight stitch, or I can do the back stitch. Let me just give this a try. I can always take it out if, see, the thing is that the stamp is very curvy, right? It's not straight, so it makes it a little bit harder to do the back stitch. Now, part of that is because I'm lazy and I don't necessarily like to do short stitches. I usually go as long as on the stitch as I can because I want it to go quick. Even though this is slow stitching, I know. It makes no sense. I get it. But that's just how I am. I like to get things done. So this could take a while for sure. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and stitch this flower on. I mean, you guys can see what I'm doing, right? I mean, I'm just doing a back stitch and I'm doing it around the stamped image. And I like it. It's actually working a little bit better than I thought it would. So I have so many threads everywhere. Can I pull that out? Oh, I'm sure I can. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so it's actually working a little better than I thought, but it's still going to take a little bit of, a little bit of time. Yep. So I have a busy week coming up this week. I have to take my mother to the doctor, dermatologist, on Monday. And I go to get a haircut, which is way overdue. And so I definitely need to do that. And there's a store I need to go to. And so I need to do that this week. I usually don't get out of the house. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's not true. I was just going to say I don't get out of the house much. And I mean, I guess there's days where I don't. I mean, I definitely like my quiet time, which I spend a lot of it reading. And, but I mean, I do get out. I just don't. Like last week, I met a friend that I used to work with for lunch, and that was awesome. Went to the diner down the street here, and you know, you just spend 2 hours just getting caught up with one another. Do you ladies do that? Do you all do that? You know, you just get together with a friend or two or a group or whatever, and you just sit and you talk and you talk and you talk and you talk about everything. And I just love that. I do. It's one of my favorite things to do, and it almost always has been. I really enjoy that time of just being with friends, and chatting. I love the chatting part. I love to chat. Yep, so that was really good. I've been a little under the weather recently, but I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit stronger, so that's good. Why can't I pull this through? Because I messed something up somewhere, like I always do. There we go. Oh my goodness. All right, so I have to pay attention which way is the best to go. So do you like to get together with friends and just chat, even if it's over like a cup of coffee? You know, I really do enjoy that. What else? What else do I have going on? I don't know. I feel like there's more that I'm forgetting to say, but yeah. Did I mention to you guys I went for an Xray? Did I mention that? I don't remember if I mentioned that. When did I go? Oh, I went, I think it was a week ago. I might have mentioned it. I don't remember. Is that terrible that I don't remember? And I was talking about, I don't think I mentioned this, how claustrophobic I am, and the older I get, the worse the claustrophobia gets. Oh my gosh. I don't think I mentioned this. Yeah, because I think last week I mainly talked about the music and the movies that I enjoy. That was a fun video because that was, yeah, definitely sharing secrets about me, I guess you could say. But yeah, so I'm definitely claustrophobic without a doubt. And honestly, I've noticed this, that, like I just said, the older I get, the more claustrophobic I get. So, like, if I ever had to have an MRI, they would literally have to put me under. They just give me anesthesia, knock me out, because there is no way in heck that you're going to get me in an MRI machine. It just would never happen. It would be impossible. It would be impossible. And the reason I know that is because, so even with a CAT scan, they have to give me something to calm me down. I can't do, even in like an open CAT scan, I can't do without being loopy. And so, oh, this thread right here is causing issues. So even, yeah, I messed that up. I don't know. Apparently, I don't think I can fix this. There must be a knot here somewhere. I don't know. I think there's a knot right there. Come on. Come on. Ooh, did I get it? I don't know. I did something, but I don't think I fixed it. All right, I can just move on and just kind of leave that, because I actually think I can cut that without being harmful to the stitching. So I'm going to leave that. There's definitely something going on there. So anyway, so yeah. So what the X-ray was of my hip, and oh my gosh, I just can't believe I do this. And so obviously I had to lay down on a, on a metal bed type thing so that they could do the X-ray. And the first X-ray, I had to be laying on my back. Well, I freaked out totally. As soon as the X-ray machine was moving towards me, 100% freak out. I'm like, move the machine, I need to sit up. And so she did, and she's looking at me like I have 9 eyes or something, like, what the heck is wrong with you? And so you know right away if somebody has ever experienced claustrophobia, because unless you experience claustrophobia, I don't think you get it, which is normal, which is, most things in life, I believe, is that way. And so she's looking at me like I have 9 heads or 9 eyes or something. And I'm trying to explain to her that I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't do it. And I mean, I have my eyes shut, the whole thing, right? And so I'm like, well, I knew in my head I had to do it. So we had a discussion about the actual X-ray machine and what it was going to do, where it was going to go. And she was explaining to me that it's not going to be lowered at all. I mean, it was a good 2 feet above my body. And she was explaining that it's not going to come down towards you. So I felt better about that. And, but it did have to come up over my body. So I decided I'm going to do this. All right. So I closed my eyes and here I am, I'm praying. I am thinking about, my niece's son. I'm thinking about, like happy things, my granddaughter. I'm just like trying to think about all different things where I'm not thinking about where I am and what's going on. And and I made it. And it was only one X-ray when I was on my back. And then there were like 3 X-rays when I was on my side. And I knew I would be much better when I was on my side, and I was. And so she was able to do it, but I almost walked out of there. And I have to tell you, there's probably a reason I didn't, and I know what that reason is. I'm trying to see where the stamp went. I think I'm just going to go up around here. And so I walk into this place. I haven't been to this imaging place before. It's super close to where I live. But I haven't been to this particular one before. And so the lady is, taking my information. And so she goes, well, my married name is Hiles. And my maiden name is Gallo. And so, everything on my paperwork is Hiles. And so she's doing her thing, putting my information in the system. And, they're part of the Atlantic Health System here in Jersey. And so they have one computer that holds everything, all the patient information. And she goes to me, she goes, Sue Gallo? I'm like, when somebody calls you by your maiden name, when it wasn't even on the paperwork, but she saw my address and everything, right? So I'm looking at her with I'm sure, quite a puzzled look on my face. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, who are you? And it was an old girlfriend of my brother's. And her brother was my first boyfriend in 8th grade. So I've known her since I was in 8th grade. And I haven't seen her in years. And I literally gasped because she goes, I'm such and such's sister. And, my old boyfriend. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, Kathy? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like freaking out because she was just always so good to me. And I just really always appreciated her. And I'm just going to cut this. I hope that doesn't ruin anything, but I don't think it will. That looks cute, right? That looks cute. I like it. It's a little different. Yep. I hope I'm in frame okay. And so, then we're talking about everything. And just, it was wonderful. It's been decades since I have seen her, and I think she looks really different, and I would have never in a million years guessed it was her. I just never would have. And so that was super nice, but I think that was a big reason why I didn't run. I didn't hightail it out of getting that X-ray, was because Kathy was there. And yeah, I didn't want to I guess look ridiculous. So anyway, yeah. So that was that experience. So let me know, do you guys have claustrophobia? I'll even say suffer from claustrophobia, because it really is. It's really when it's severe claustrophobia, it's scary. I'll just say that. It's scary. And it has a lot to do with control or lack of control. And so, yeah. Yep. And like I said, I'm definitely getting worse as I get older. I can just see it happening. I don't plan for it. I don't want it. But like there's some elevators I can't go in because they're so small. I remember one time, and this was actually years ago. This was, I think, like 23 years ago, if I remember correctly. I was on a plane. And we were heading back from Orlando, Florida, and we had to sit on the runway down there because the airport here in New Jersey was under snow and we couldn't leave and blah, blah, blah. And I hope that this is going to look okay. Does that look like an E? I feel like it's missing a little spot right here. Let me see if I can clean this up a little bit. And so they actually they didn't shut the plane off, but it kind of felt like it was off, and it felt like there was no air. It wasn't like, it was like the lights went dim. You could just hear it. It was like the plane quieted down, and we were going to be there for a while. And I freaked out, and I went to the stewardess, and I'm like, I think I need to get off of this plane. And here I am with my father and my son. And my father, he just sits there. He's cool. He doesn't, And yeah. Now I wasn't allowed to get off of the plane because here we are on a runway somewhere, or we're not at the gate anymore. I mean, we're in the middle of somewhere. And so that was a lesson in just, trying not to freak out and, calming yourself down. And that was really difficult. But you know what? I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. So that's my scoop on claustrophobia. So let me know if you have any yourself. And how strong it is for you. Yep. I'd be interested to know. I would. So, okay, so this is working. I mean, I have this little line here in front of that M because that's what the stamp had on it. But I think I need to, it looks like I mercy. So, but I think I need to maybe fill it in a little bit between that. It was just kind of like the way the writing would go, but I think it looks a little funky. So I'll see if I can fix that. Oh, and I wanted to show you, well, I have green beans, string beans that were growing in my garden, and they did really, really, really well in my garden. But now, everything's dying because it's so cold. But if you let your green beans what's the word I'm looking for? Dry out on the plant, on the vine, until it looks like this and sounds like this, right? These are hard. These should be, they were normally green, and they're obviously not anymore. If you let them totally dry out, then the beans inside, this one fell out, you can plant next year. So all of the beans that are in here, you can see them, these will grow more plants next year. So I picked the majority of the green beans, but I did leave enough on there that could dry out to where I'll have enough seeds for next year. And I'll have more than enough seeds. I still have some of those seeds in the actual envelope when I bought the seeds, you know, from a company that sells seeds. So I have plenty of seeds, but I want to give it a try, and I want to kind of test it and see if it's that easy, right? Will they grow? I assume they'll grow. They look just like the ones I bought. So yeah, so I'm excited about that. I mean, it's only my second year having any vegetables in my garden. So how it all started, well, it started with me knowing I was going to retire. And so 3 summers ago, I'm like, well, you know, maybe I'll get some flowers. And I bought 2 flower boxes that would sit on my front railings on my steps. And I put flowers in them. So that was my first real experience with the growing. And then, you know, just typical me, because it's just how I am. I couldn't just leave it that way. So then the next year, which was last summer of 2022, that's when I got into the container gardening, and I had a bunch of vegetables. I think the most containers I had last year was like not more than 25. I think I kept it more around 20 containers last year. And and this year I got even bigger. I now have 3 raised beds, and I had about 45. I'm gonna see if I can connect these 2 lines right here for the M. Yeah, so I ended up with a lot more vegetable plants and flowers this year, 2023. And look at this, there's a little knot right there. There we go. So who knows next year? I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know. I think I want it next year focus more on the raised beds, because I did notice, if anybody wants to know, I did notice for me that like the tomato plant that I grew in the raised bed was 10 times more productive and healthy than the ones that I had in my containers. And not that they weren't successful in containers, they were. I got a lot of, you know, tomatoes from them. It's just that the one in the raised bed was far superior. And so I want to focus more on the raised beds next year. I want to have maybe less flowers. And but with saying that, even though I want to have, I think I'll put this green around it. Even though I want to have less containers, I do want to have more different kinds of flowers. So yeah. So I'm going to plant less, I think, of the ones that I'm going to be growing. And yeah, so I'm just going to do a quick little straight stitch around the edge just to give it a finished look. That's like if you guys do any type of paper crafting, did you ever notice how just by adding some sort of a border, you know, whether it's with a pencil or ink or paint or whatever, it just kind of gives it more of a finished look. So that's kind of how I'm feeling about this. I think it's going to just give it that extra little. I'll leave it at that. And I did do this on another one. Actually, the one right next to it. So I did do it on this one as well. I mean, not around the whole thing, but just, yeah, just a little bit there. But I think this is going to look good. And then that's going to be it for the video as soon as we finish this. So be sure to check out others that are participating. We have Lolly that's participating, Carol, Liz. Yeah, so I'll try to put a link to their channels below. I wasn't going to do that, but I mean, there's not a lot of people participating, so I think that I could do that, at least, you know, for sure in this video, so that you can go check out their channels. That's why I called this an unofficial open collaboration, because I just wanted it to be easy. And, you know, but if anybody wanted to join, I love watching other people stitch. And I'm sure a lot of you do as well. All right, that's going to be it. So this was kind of fun. I really enjoyed this a lot. I hope that you all did too. Let me just make sure before I tighten that it's not puckering. Okay. And then let me bring over here. This is all going to fall apart, but I want to show you. And I'll zoom back out. And you know what? I might move these around a little bit. I don't know. My original plan was that I was going to keep them in the order that I sewed them. Oops, I always go the wrong way. So there, that should give you a pretty decent view of, this is the wall hanging. It's going to go in my living room, and I cut the piece of fabric underneath so it's the right size. I left it enough up on top to sew it over so a dowel can go in it. And yeah, so I might, if I decide I don't want both of these next to one another, like maybe what I'll do is maybe I'll switch it up a little bit. I don't know. I'll have to see. I really don't know. But that's kind of where we're at. So we have 3 more blocks to go. And again, check out everybody that is participating. And if you want to join for a week. That's fine. Just 1 week is good, or every week. I mean, I'm going to have at least 3 more weeks, right? Because I have 3 more squares or blocks. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I'm glad we figured this out. Isn't that cute? Look at that little flower. I think it's super cute. Okay. All right. Have a blessed week, everybody. Bye-bye.